I'm standing on a hilltop and looking down on this dale, grassy expanse. And to the side there are the mists. Now, these are the mists that you pass through to do your life review, and you come out the other side. But there were all these souls in communion on this grassy plain. And like me, inquisitive, go, what is this? And there's these silver cords uh, running over the mist, not through the mist. And they're connected to some of the souls on this dale, on this grassy plain. And again, to the guide, say, what is this place? And what was described for me is that when we sleep, souls are able to commune across into the heavenly realms and meet up with loving kin.
I'm happy to have Stephen Chong with me here today, who about 5 years ago was cleaning the gutters on his roof. He was on a ladder and he fell off and broke his neck, having a near-death experience. Stephen, thank you so much for being my guest. I am so honored to have you here with me today.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here across a great expanse of universe. We're on the other side of the earth, really.
We really are almost exactly on the other side. You are all the way around. I'm in the States, obviously in Georgia. Tell the viewers where you are.
Situated in far north Queensland in Australia. So if you can imagine the northeastern tip, so not quite up the top, but very close. So and we live in tropical rainforest here, so it's beautiful, wet sometimes, but beautiful.
It sounds lovely, for sure. So I imagine you have a lot to clean out of your gutters.
Well, I'm not allowed to do it anymore, you see. Well, I tell you the story because when you're in your 60s, you still think you're bulletproof. And so this particular, again, for 5 years ago, nearly now, I was up cleaning out the gutters, and of course the ladder slipped, and the ladder's gone through all these windows we've got here, so there's glass everywhere, and I'm on the ground in a heap, and I couldn't feel below my neck, and I thought, uh-oh, Stephen, you are in trouble here. But the I say the gods were to favour because normally my wife, this is a Saturday morning, and my wife is normally out doing things, but she happened to be here this morning. And of course, she heard me scream. And we're very remote. We don't have near neighbours. So, if she hadn't have been here, I would have been on the ground probably forever. But here we stand, but in hindsight, of course, these experiences are traumatic, but so revelatory. Things have happened subsequent to that experience that have changed my life with absolute significance. So I look back on it with gratitude, but at the time thinking, "Oh my goodness, there's trouble here," because I say I couldn't feel below my neck, but I must tell you that the revelations subsequent did not happen at that time of the accident. What happened was, of course, I was taken to hospital, and I was good for nothing for 3 months on a couch, could barely move, and in that time, I had this a title of this book going through my head. And just by way of background, I'd written books and screenplays and things before, but I'd retired. I'm done. I'm not doing anymore. I'm ready to plant tomatoes in the garden. But but lying on this couch and this book title is going through my head, The Afterlife, A Journey To, and I knew what it was. I knew it was the universe saying, Stephen, we've got things to show you. But, like Peter denying the Christ, I said, no, go away, leave me alone. But eventually I've acquiesced and said, okay, to the universe, okay, you want me to write this thing? I'm in, I will do it. But what do I know? The afterlife, I know nothing, nothing. But the amazing thing was, as soon as I'd made that choice to write, and I was able, I sat in front of the PC, and I had no storyboard, I had no character, no nothing. And Tia, it was so amazing. It was like tuning a radio dial to a frequency, uh, and I saw the colours, all in heaven. It's all up there. I saw the colours, and don't think seven colours of the rainbow multiplied by 10 or a factor of many. I heard the music, and it was like the music was a part of everything. The trees, the grasses, everything was music. And I'm trying my best to write what I saw and heard. And then there was this character. His name is Athar, and I'm seeing through his eyes, and he's taking me to places and showing me things. It was like how would I describe it? Like being on a scenic railway tour where you're seeing things, and I'm hearing his dialogue, and he's talking to me. So I'm basically taking dictation, and that's how it transpired. And every time, like I do it, I was very disciplined in the writing process. I would sit and it would be there, but I never knew it was coming. I would, and the next time I sat, I'd go, okay, what's next? And it was like there, the next part would just come. It took about 3 weeks, a little bit over 3 weeks to write the book, but the where I was taken to and shown by this person, this character, was just so amazing. And we'll talk a little bit some of those places in a minute, but it was the greatest of gifts.
That sounds like an amazing gift to have that connection and just that experience. Wow.
Oh, absolutely. And um, the I've learnt so much subsequently to the writing process, but the one of the great things is to trust and to know that spirit, that love is there all the time. Is has made a profound difference to my life. And one of the other amazing things apart of that journey was that I finished writing the book, and then you go into this edit mode, because I don't know, I can't spell, and I don't know where commas go. But so I've read this thing about 100 times, and I've woken one morning, and it's like the message was, Stephen, you've missed something. Read it again. What? What? And I've read it again, and it was like reading a text, with those highlighter pens, those coloured highlight pens. I read the thing, and I saw embedded in the text were these, and I found 15 of them were what I call laws of heaven and earth, isms, tenets that have made such a profound difference to my life. It's been just amazing. So the whole journey is just a great gift.
So when you fell off the ladder, something opened up like a portal or something to the other side, and
Yes,
this is guidance
yes,
coming across.
yes. See, and that's very interesting, because my understanding now from these significant experiences, NDEs, STEs, whatever we want to call them, is that they do two things. One is that they redirect us from a pathway. Now, I'm retired. I've said, no more books, go away. I like to, plant these tomatoes. No problem. uh-uh. The universe says, "Mm, there's a higher purpose for you, Stephen. If you so choose. It's okay, you can retire if you want to, be happy. Yeah, you've got a lovely life, beautiful kids, a lovely wife. But if you choose, there's more for you to do. And thank the gods I chose the higher pathway. But the second thing that these events do is that they imbue us with superpowers, talents, skills, abilities that we didn't know we had. You can write, you can paint, you can do whatever the universe dictates that you should be doing. You can do beautiful podcasts. That's the universe telling you that this is your higher purpose. Uh, but they're skills that were latent, sitting there waiting for something to be realised, something to happen. And in my case, it took an accident for that realisation to happen. Although I'm sure that those skills and talents were there previously.
So tell me about the places.
Oh, very interesting. When luckily, because as I say, I've written 5 books beforehand, so I had a, a, a I'm disciplined when I do it. So what happened with this book was I would wake up in the morning and go, literally, sounds a bit weird, but literally to myself, go, okay, Stephen, at 1 o'clock, you're on. Like to the universe, at 1 o'clock, it's your time. Because, we've all got busy lives, we've got stuff to do. But I was prepping the universe to say, okay, 1 o'clock, you're on. And I would sit at that time and tune out, have a cone of silence over me, no distractions, no phones, no beeping things. And to with every day, every time I did that, it was like somebody flicked a switch, and I'd sit there have my cup of tea, sit there at the PC and go, ooh, what am I going to? Ooh, oh, type, type, type. There it was. That's how it happened.
Did you go anywhere in your mind, or how did you visit these places?
Oh my goodness. Therein leads us to so the key, I must tell you, from my point of view, was trust. I never doubted. Once I started to see and hear these things, I never doubted that it would be there. And I never how would you call it? Never reviewed. I just accepted. Because I mean this is all in heaven. I know I know nothing. So I had to trust that the words would be there and the guides would be there, and they always were. And it the I've been asked a number of times, many times, whether I was like being a medium, channeling, and honestly, I do not know. All I know is that it was like seeing through this character's eyes, and I could hear his words, and he's speaking to me in it was like the language was old, like Victorian Old English, even Elizabethan, and I neither think nor write like that, of course, with my Aussie accent, but uh, but that's how the words came out, and I would look at it in review and go, "Oh my God, where did that come from?" And this Athar character took me to some amazing places, which I'll share with you if you would like.
Yes, please do.
Ah, so let me give you the background to this character. Uh, And again, I've been asked whether he was a real life in life, and I could only say yes, but I don't know. Yeah, he in his life, he was, as a child, he was abused under the auspices of the clergy, and uh, later on in his life, he took his own life. So he was stuck in this purgatorial state. He couldn't get out. He with the anger, the guilt, and the shame that he felt meant that he was stuck in this mm, purgatorial state. And it took forgiveness to unlock and release him from this state. He couldn't see the light that was there, the love that was there waiting for him, but he couldn't see it. And until he was able to forgive those that perpetrated these heinous acts, that released him into the heavenly realms. And my goodness, where he took me was just amazing. Let me give you just one. Uh, uh, he took first place. He took me to. I called it the healing arena. And if you can envisage the Roman Colosseum in all its glory, uh, and there was these souls, filled souls in multicolored hues, filling this arena, and he he they're all chanting the Om sound. So this Om is reverberating around this arena. Now I'm seeing through this character's eyes, and he's showing me these things. And in the arena were these repose lounge sofas, and in come these uh, oh, poor souls, decrepit, deformed, like they had great melodies, and they were guided in by these seraphim, and they were made to lie on these repose lounges. And in walked this angelic being, and he beautiful golden white coloured robes, and he raises his hands up in and it, like into a he takes the energy from the attending souls from the crowd, and he weaves it into a magnetic ball, and this energy shot into these souls that were lying, these decrepit souls that were lying on these couches, and they were healed. They were totally renewed. And like again, this poor old me in my logical mind, I couldn't make this up in 100 years. I'm dictating what I saw. And I turned to this, there was a guide next to me. And I said, What what is this? What happened? And he said, sins in heaven imposed by others are not those borne by the self. Make sense of that. So if I do bad things to you that cause your spirit harm, deformity, or something or other, you are relieved of those burdens in the heavenly realms. Me, on the other hand, would endure the consequences because I've caused that to you. I've done that to you. I would suffer the consequences of that. But you are healed. Those burdens, those sins are not yours to bear. I hope that makes sense, but that's how it was explained to me. Um, it was just one of the beautiful areas that I was taken to.
That does make sense. And it's interesting that you talk about an arena because I literally just a couple weeks ago, um, I interviewed a gentleman who said it was like a huge arena when he went to the other side.
Is that right? Well, there
Yes,
you go. There's confirmation. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, to you, honestly, the things that was just one of the majestic things that I saw. Um, But let me give you another that would be of interest to your listeners. I was taken to a building, and don't think like a glass regular building. Think marble, Greco-Roman type architecture. And I'm again with a guide, and we walk into this building, and I've got to tell you, even now it gives me chills to think about it. The love that I felt when I walked into this building was like nothing I had ever experienced before. And what I saw were these beautiful angels in these and the multicolored blue type robes, and they're tending to babes in arms, fledglings. And again, what was explained to me was that children that leave the earth plane early, or that pass early from life, are so beautifully nurtured by the Heavenly Father and his angels. No child is left wanting. Every child is so beautifully nurtured by the angels and brought to the prime of their spiritual health. Even if uh, the bond between the parent and the child is not strong, no child is foregone. Every child that leaves the earth plane early is so beautifully nurtured by the Heavenly Father in this. I called it the school for children because that's what I saw. But that's just another of the beautiful areas that I was taken to.
Did you find out what happens to the children? Like, I guess there's not really time there, but do they grow up?
Yes, well, I didn't see specifically a child taken on a particular journey because we were with Athar, we were going off to other directions. But what I was told specifically was that every child is brought to the prime of their spiritual health. So for me, it was kind of enough to know that, yeah, no child left behind. Yeah.
And so, how long did you spend over in this other realm, or was this over time you spent more and more time over there?
Well, it was in the writing process took about 3, maybe 4 weeks to write, and it was a daily process because and like described before, I just what 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 I found was I would give about 2 hours and I couldn't do any more because I got tired and needed alcohol. but but that's the way. That's pretty much the way it transpired. It was like a couple of hours a day for about 3 or 4 weeks
But 3 or
in the
4
writing.
weeks, that's
Yeah,
incredibly fast, and just a couple hours a day to write a whole book.
it was to yeah because it was just there. I didn't really have to do anything. The the key was a trust. I knew it would be there, and then but it wasn't a thinking process. It was a listening process. I cleared the mind and sort of stopped all distractions, so nothing beeping at me. And it was just I saw it, I heard it, and the colours were there. And the 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 challenging part for me was to describe because the colours, as I say, 10 times the colours of the rainbow. But I have no musical ability, uh, and the music was part. It was like it was everything was part of everything, and I heard it. So it was the describing what I saw and heard was a challenge. I heard the dialogue fine. I heard very clearly what he was telling me, but the descriptions of the environment, the scenery, the colours, the robes. I must tell you, Tia, uh, the robes of the souls were something to behold. What happened, as just by way of background, when what I saw was souls that exit the mist. So you've gone through the mists of purgatory, the life review, where this life review happens, and you exit these mists into the heavenly realms. And these, when we come out, you are robed, you're cloaked in these robes that designate where you go in the heavenly realms. So what I saw were souls that some were coming at him, beautiful, bright, white colours, flashing blues and yellows, and others come out in dark Hessian, yucky colours. And souls had to follow a pathway that was uniquely theirs. So what I saw was one character come out in dark brown Hessian colours, and she must have thought that the station in heaven was a bit above what it was, because she tried to go up into the higher realms, but she couldn't. Eventually, she uh, uh, became aware that she had to follow a pathway. It kind of went downwards. I don't know where. I just saw it descending down this pathway. Um, but that so the colours of the robes for each soul determine where one goes in the heavenly realms. And other souls, when they look at that person, that soul, the colour, know exactly what they need in love. Because love is everything. Love is everywhere. No absence of love. But one can look at these souls and know exactly what they need from a love point of view, and assistance and service, if that makes sense.
Hmm. And when we go, or when these souls were going to these different realms according to their robe color, is that where they were going to stay forever, or do they have a chance to kind of level up?
Oh, that's a good question. The answer is this is an evolutionary process. It's not that's it, see you later, you're going to hellfire. No, not at all. Uh, uh, the the judgment of heaven is neither vindictive or eternal, but probationary and remedial. So you come in, and again, there were souls there that were at a particular, like in a particular level or a realm, and they were kind of happy there. But for those that choose, are able to elevate to higher levels. But there was not an eternal damnation. No, far from it. This was an evolutionary process, and souls were always there in assistance, if one was contrite and repented and asked.
When you were there watching all this happen, was it like you were actually there, or was it like you were in your mind? Did you have an out of body experience?
It was, Tia, it was like I said before, it was like tuning a radio dial, and I got a certain frequency, but I was there. I could see it. I was looking through this character's eyes, and let's say then just taking dictation.
Mm.
That's how it was. So I was kind of, yeah, it was like, but it was not like, it was being there. Because honestly, even if I was on drugs and too much alcohol, I couldn't make this stuff up.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is just fascinating how you had this connection with your guide that didn't happen actually, like in it when you were, I guess, laying on the ground, breaking your neck. You didn't have it then, it happened later.
Yes,
It's a very
yes,
unique experience.
yeah, very unique. If it's a good point that you make, because I've often, and subsequent, research, and I'm talking to people and listening to NDEs, I'm thinking, why was this gift given to me in such a form? And what I understand profoundly now is, and people have these NDEs and STEs, and they go and see things, and they come back and life changes, and it's profound experience for them. But what I understand is, for that person, that's a very subjective experience. It happened to them, which is amazing and wonderful. But from our point of view, you and I, we're objective to that experience. So we're seeing it and looking at that and going, oh, wow, isn't that amazing? Or whatever. But in this case, what this story has enabled to happen is that when you read a story of this nature, you can look at it through the different levels. And you can read the story literally and go, oh, yeah, right, that's good, that's bad, I like, I don't like. You can read it, you can read the allegories. Okay, like the fables, I get that. But the key is in the deeper levels. The level you can read a story and read it metaphysically, where universal laws are revealed to you as I've described these laws of heaven and earth. That's a metaphysical experience. But deeper than that, you can have a mystical experience. So you could read the book and go, oh, I got that. That's it. That's me. That's the inner truth being revealed. That your own inner truth. So you read the story and you go, wow, well, I've got that totally. That's the key to the gift I've been given. It enables people to experience their own mystical truth. It's like I was talking to a lovely man yesterday, day before, and he'd read the book and he said exactly that. He said, oh, Stephen, that was amazing. I found this and I found that. I went, that's a mystical experience. It's a revelation of your own inner truth. And, that's why I understand now why this gift was given in such a form.
And you spoke about trust, and that's such an important factor because if you're second guessing the information that's coming to you, then it's just going to stop, is what I found.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like I say, I didn't, when I was, say, writing or taking this dictation, I never, I edited it from like an English, like a comma and the grammar point of view, because as I say, I've written 6 books and I still don't know where a comma goes. But but the content I didn't alter. It was just like a download. That's how it happened.
Like word for word, there wasn't editing of that.
No, yeah, just a correction of my lousy grammar.
What was the point of this book in the first place? Is it to teach something to humanity? Why did they come to you?
Well, yeah, well, therein lies a profound question. My job now is to two things really, is to make from the learnings that I've obtained from the writing and the subsequent research, is to make my life a better place. And when I say me, it's for those around me.
Mhm.
My family, my loved ones, my children, and my job is to talk to lovely people on podcast and put a message out there if people have ears to hear. Um, that's that's my job. That's the great gift, and one that I'm profoundly, thankful for. Because if I had not have done that, I would have stayed planting tomatoes, and that would have been a waste of talent.
But you could have had some good sandwiches.
I could have done, yes.
So,
Yeah, I could have done.
what I think is remarkable about what you just said is that it was to make the lives of those around you better as well. Um, that is just such a selfless thing for you to have to go through almost dying and then this intense experience going to the other side and having all these crazy things happening to you. Um, and then to help people as well. And another thing I love that you said is for those who have ears to hear, and that goes along with that trust too. If you, a lot of times in spirituality, there's some cynics or maybe just some skeptical people. And I think that they just haven't developed the ears to hear yet. It's not that they're truly cynics or skeptical, because I think
Mhm.
everyone is going to come to this at some time in their life. What do you think?
Oh, I think that's absolutely correct. And Tia, I've been very aware that the the content of the book will, one, it, and rightly so, people require a burden of proof. Where's your proof, Stephen? Well, I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not a researcher. I'm not. The book's not empirical. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dude that was given the gift of an experience, a profound one, and I present it to you, on a plate for you, so you can read the book if you so choose. But otherwise, um, my job is not to make you believe, is to show you the truth. That and that's the best way I can describe it.
Maybe just plant a seed for later.
Yes, beautiful, beautifully put. Absolutely, plant the seed. Yes, yes, exactly. That's exactly what it does. Yes.
So, what were some examples of some of these truths or messages that they wanted to get across in this book?
Okay. Let me see. Let me give you a couple. Um, what you have caused to affect in your fellow man is what declares your place in heaven. Or what you sow, so shall you reap. We know this. So if we bring that tenet into our lives, it is going to dissuade me totally from doing really bad things to you with intent. Because I'm thinking, if I do bad things to Tia, not her that in the heavenly realms, not she that bears the consequences, but me, on the other hand, because there's no separation. Uh, uh, we're all one in spirit. So what you do to another, you do to the self. So, that to me gives pause to errant actions. I if it makes me not second guess, but think, God, if I do this, I'm going to hurt this person. And that can't be a good thing. So you take those tenets, those laws, and apply them to our own lives. Hey, suddenly life becomes a better place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure. And once you say it, you're like, ah, yeah, of course, that makes sense. But sometimes we need that little just to be told and be reminded more. I think reminding is a better word. Be reminded.
Isn't that interesting? Yes, yes. And that's what we were talking about before, Tia, that it's the revelation of what's there, that truth that's been latent, that's been hidden, and something unlocks it, and you go, ooh, that's true. I've got that. That's exactly what you're describing.
Yeah. So how can people, is there a way that people can access this realm or their guides on their own to kind of dig more truths out of the universe?
Oh, now is a very interesting question. Let me take you to a place that I was taken to. And I called it the abode of reunion. And let me describe this for you. With a guide, I'm standing on a hilltop and looking down on this dale, grassy expanse. And to the side there are the mists. Now, these are the mists that you pass through to do your life review, and you come out the other side. But there were all these souls in communion on this grassy plain. And like me, inquisitive, go, what is this? And there's these silver cords uh, running over the mist, not through the mist. And they're connected to some of the souls on this dale, on this grassy plain. And again, to the guide, say, what is this place? And what was described for me is that when we sleep, souls are able to commune across into the heavenly realms and meet up with loving kin to discuss dilemmas, insights, problems. So that kin, or love is the bridge. So if there's a soul on the other side that you love dearly, they're there to help. And when we sleep, our soul is able to cross over to this other side and receive guidance and support from these loving soul, loving kin. That, believe as you wish, but that's what I saw. And um, uh, 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 and I'm sure you've had the experience when you sometimes in the middle of the night you wake up and we've gone to bed with a dilemma or a problem, and you've woken up in the middle of the night and gone, oh, that's it, I've got it. To me, that's an example of where our soul has gone transited temporarily across to the other side and been guided by this loving soul. And we've the unfortunate part of that is sometimes we wake up and we forget instead of writing it down. But that's one of the places, another of the places I was taken to.
They say that I can't remember if it was Edison or Einstein would take naps in their chair with a steel ball. So as they were falling asleep, they would drop the steel ball and they would wake up and have answers to some of the problems
Hmm.
that they were working on.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
coming from
That
their
that's
guides.
that's exactly it. And I've pondered on this after learning this and writing this. I've pondered on it greatly, and uh, what I what I now know, what I think don't think I know we can do is that we've got a problem to deal with, a life problem. Remember, love is the bridge. So before going to sleep, we have that problem inside us, but we close the not close the mind off. No distractions. Just connect with that person that we love on the other side, be a parent or a spouse or whoever. We connect with them in the heart, and then we go to bed with a question: what do I do about this problem? How do I fix whatever it is? And that constructive question is always answered by the guides. So that opens a portal to us being able to transit across to this abode of reunion. And then I think the other important thing to do is to keep a notepad or a recorder of some kind by the bed. So when we awaken, we immediately write that thing down so it doesn't get lost in the ethers.
Mhm. That's a good idea. Keep like a notepad or
Hmm.
something to record it next to your bed. That's a great idea.
Cool idea, huh? But the key is before sleeping, just relax the mind, connect in the heart with those that you love, and let the universe then take you to where it needs to take you. Trust,
Trust. There's that word again.
trust,
Trust.
trust again. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like a giving away of your control. Stop
Hmm.
trying to control and let it happen.
Yeah. Hey, Tia, I've got to tell you one of the other places I was taken to, apropos to what we're talking about, was the School for Guardian Angels. So I was taken into the where like a like just a school, and these souls are being taught how to be guardian angels. Because what I was shown is that we each have them, and they are never absent. So, and they are there like 24/7 for us. What we need to learn is what one to know that they are there, and then to listen for them for the help. Because the mind, it's often the monkey mind's going off and trying to solve things rather than saying, "Hey, guardian angel, are you there?" Yes, I'm there. Uh, kind of, I'm being flippant, but you know what I mean. Uh, but those guardian souls are there for us all the time, never absent, and that love is the bridge, and the trust is the key.
So have they been with us our whole life since the day we were born?
Absolutely, absolutely, without doubt. Now it's taken me 65 years to figure that out, but in the writing of the book. But now I know, yes, they are never absent.
Were you born in a religious home or were you religious before this happened? No.
No, no, I have no. religious affiliations. Yes, my mother was the most beautiful spirit you'd ever want to imagine. So I was blessed to have her, in my life. And I've got to tell you something else to you. Oh, it's amazing as part of this journey. It is just over 12 months ago that I lost my beautiful mum. Now, for years, ever since I was a boy, I knew, and I said to myself, like, Mum, when you go, I'm not staying. I'm going too. I'm going where you're going. So that connection was so strong in me. But subsequent to the writing of this book and learning all of these things, when she passed, I I knew I know not knew I know exactly where she's gone into the higher realms, and I know she's always there. So there's no separation. So that love that one feels for that loving kin is the bridge. So whilst her physical presence is not here anymore, her loving presence is like a warm blanket all the time.
Have you seen her since she's passed? Have you been able to go into a room and see her?
It's a good question. In the early couple of weeks after her passing, I was sitting. I was like, Mum, yeah, are you here? To see, no, I didn't see her presence. It's a feeling
Hmm.
for me. She's there. Now it's a bit different because she's gone off to these higher realms and places that I'll probably never even evolve to, but um, but I still know she's there. It's kind of hard to describe. So, it's like being just wrapped in this beautiful warm blanket all the time. She's just there all the time.
That's beautiful to know that she's there, and you'll see her again when you pass
Yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not today, but yes, later.
When it's your time.
In good time.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Has this experience of writing the book and, breaking your neck and having that whole kind of working with your guides, has that experience changed your philosophies about life and death?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Tia. Now I have no fear of passing because I know what awaits on the other side. But more than that, I mean, that's profound of itself. But more than that, it's a great enabler because, I'm 67 years old now, and that gives a certain relativity to one's life. You think, oh, my endpoint's closer than it was a few years ago. But that of itself is a great enabler. It says, Stephen, you have got things to do. There, no, no, no. How would you put it? Every moment is important. No, no, no lax moments, if you know what I mean. And you will be empowered. That source, that power source, that love from the universal source is there all the time for you. So that that of itself makes life a far better place.
Oh, definitely. A far more comforting place as well, I think before you have a spiritual experience, well, not before you have a spiritual experience, but when you have a spiritual experience, that opens you up to an entirely new paradigm. Your life is
Mhm.
absolutely changed. And it is very comforting because now instead of believing in something, you know something.
Correct. Beautifully put. Yes. Yes. It's not a thinking process, it's a knowing process. You just know it as part of your being. Yeah, beautifully put. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And as I say, like you doing podcasts or writing books or whatever it is, it gives a sense of importance and urgency. So it's important that you spread the message, and there's and you're young and in the prime of your life, but now I'm an old dude now with grey hair. So, uh, there's an urgency to say, get on with it, Stephen, before you really have to start planting tomatoes.
Oh, well, with that being said, are you still able to connect with your guides like that, like you were when you were writing this
Yes,
book in record time?
yes. I've got to tell you that there is another one in progress. I think I'm up to chapter 4 or 5 now. So yes, yeah, but it's a bit slower than I think my monkey mind's got in the way of trying to control things. But I, I, I'm doing my best. But yes, there is a continuum.
Great. When should we expect that?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard question to answer. uh, Oh, I really don't know. At my current rate, which is a snail's, I did some more yesterday, and I look at it and go, oh my goodness, Stephen, that's really cool. Why don't you do more? Oh, okay. So I'll figure all that out. Don't worry. But I really don't know how long it's going to take. But we shall see.
Is it kind of the same way your guides are coming in and you're
Mm,
just it's like a stream. Same
yeah,
thing as the last time?
yeah, it's a stream, and it's the same similar characters. Athar remains the guiding light, um, and I do my best to tune in. But it's like there's all these other characters coming in. Oh, my head hurts, but I'll figure it all out. Don't worry. Um, it's a little bit different this time. So the time period is taking longer, but um, we shall see. I just have to trust. I know every time I sit that it's there. It's just the sitting that's become problematical for me. But I'll figure it out.
Well, I believe everything happens in divine timing, so it'll be done when it's meant to be done.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Yes, yes, I'll take your advice.
And were you an author? You were an author and filmmaker prior to this happening, correct?
Yes, I was a late bloomer to you. I started writing when I was just over 50. So, and yeah, I think, well, this like the afterlife is book number 6. But like I said, after writing number 5, I stopped. I said, I'm done. You know, leave me alone. But sorry, doesn't work that way.
But you didn't write about spiritual topics, is that correct?
No, no, no. I was a self-help writer. There was always a mix. There was, I sorry, I can't say no. That's not correct. But there was always a mix of connection there. But one nowhere near us. This was like a direct stream of consciousness. Somebody speaking in my ear, telling me what to write. It was like taking dictation.
Mm.
Whereas the others were sort of from here. The afterlife was from here.
Which I find so interesting because there wasn't a connection to the other books, so it is just another kind of divine intervention, a proof of divine intervention with you writing a
Yes.
completely different style of book.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But and the key from just from a process point of view was to not to think, but was to listen. And like when I sat to and again very disciplined, I would set the time and say, or I'll leave out the expletive. What am I going to write about that about heaven? No idea. But then just be open to listen, and then not to judge. Don't think, oh no, no, just right, just because it's a download. It's somebody speaking to me, giving me words that I never knew I had.
So if my viewers wanted to find your books, where can they go?
Oh, probably the best place here is via Amazon. Uh, just obviously Google the title, "The Afterlife: A Journey To," or my name, Stephen. It's Stephen Paul Chong on the book, or they can just get onto my website, which is stephenchong.com.au, and that'll lead you in the right direction. And must tell you, on the website, are the laws of heaven and earth. Free, just download, just do a down free. I don't charge anything, it's all God given. Um, so you get onto the website and you'll find the laws of heaven and earth on there.
Great. And if you wanted to leave my viewers with one message that you make sure they take away from this conversation today, what would that be?
Trust is the key. The connection with the divine, they are never separate from us. They're never absent from us. But we have to close the mind off and we have to listen. Yeah, that's a bit weird. There's a lightning bolt hitting you on the head.
It's weird.
Can you
Yeah.
see it? Ah,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, huh? Wow.
It's weird.
How
It's
cool is
never
that?
happened before.
No, there
Huh.
you go. Yeah, there is never an absence of the divine in our life. They are always there, always. And we have to close off. But uh, one of the things I've learned is to ask what I call a constructive question when we're faced with dilemma is what would I do about that? How do I fix? Where do I go? As distinct from a destructive question, which is why can't I get this right? Why do I always make mistakes? Why am I so dumb? Get rid of all of that. Say, my goodness, how do I fix? What do I do? Where do I go? And then listen, listen to the answer. Yeah, straight away it comes, maybe. Like example of that is when I was sitting to write, I'd start at a particular time. Okay, what's next? I don't know what to write. I like a cup of tea, I don't know. Oh, got it. Ah, up, 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 up. But sometimes I would do that and sit there and go, oh. But then I'd go away and walk around and go, got it. That's it. And hurry back to the PC and start typing. Trust. Ask the constructive question and then the answer comes and listen.
And listen, there you go.
Yeah.
You are just a lovely individual. I have enjoyed this so much, Stephen. Thank you for being my guest.
Oh, pleasure, Tia. It was lovely to speak to you on the other side of the universe.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for being here. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here and supporting my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing if you enjoy near-death experiences and other spiritually transformative stories. It helps the algorithm know that this information is useful and push it out to more people. And that's the goal, to get as many people to know that we are eternal spiritual beings and that we never die. Our bodies might die, but our essence will never die. And I want people to live with less fear. Let's all spread the word. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that little notification bell so you get all the notifications when my videos post. Thank you for all of your support. I'm sending love to you.